Democrat Catelin Drey pulled off a major upset in a special election last month for Iowa State Senate District 1. Senator Drey is a working mom who never ran for any type of office prior to this. But that's just half the story. She actually flipped a seat in a state that President Trump won by 11 points in 2024, and her victory breaks the GOP's supermajority in the Iowa Senate as well. As we all know, Iowa, a huge litmus test for the rest of the country, hence the Iowa caucus every 4 years. So let's take you to Iowa to meet Catelin Drey. District 1, that's in Sioux City, the far west side of the state along the Missouri River. Population roughly 89,000.
State Senator, good morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us, and congratulations on your swearing in earlier this week. Tell me what you think your victory means.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. I think right now it's telling in Iowa that we have a state legislature who is dominated by a single party, and people don't feel like they're getting the representation that they deserve. And so we had an opportunity to flip a seat, and we took it and capitalized on that. And it's not the first time, actually. I should be very clear that in January we had another state Senate special election where Senator Mike Zimmer flipped a similar, if not more, Republican seat. I'm also hearing so many voices. It's significant,
that.
But it's not the first time that we've done it this year, which is really exciting.
Are you able to hear okay right now?
I can hear the programming. Yes. Hi.
Okay.
Yes.
What were some of the issues that you focused on that you think resonated most with your voters?
Yeah, the biggest thing was really just the affordability crisis that we're under right now, and Mr. Fugelsang referenced the tariffs right now, and that's disproportionately affecting Iowa and our ag economy. But we're also under an affordability crisis when it comes to housing and healthcare and childcare, and all of those things are necessary to live a good life in the state of Iowa. And we've seen, federal policy that is affecting those things, as well as state policy. And how do we allow our constituents and encourage our constituents to live a good life here when they can't afford the things that they need to survive?
You mentioned Monday when you took the oath. I know that you said it was humbling, also coming at a time of huge tension between the left and the right. We've got the Kirk assassination in the midst of all of this. Talk to us about your hopes for how we move forward together to try to accomplish things in this country.
I appreciate that question. I am quite humbled, and as a first-time legislator, what a week. I think we are so much closer than the current climate would suggest, and we have to turn the temperature down. I mentioned this on Monday. The escalation of political violence that we are seeing, my neighbor to the north, Representative Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman, was murdered in her home, and that is because of her beliefs, and that type of violence cannot exist in a democratic society. And so we have to turn the temperature down. And I am optimistic when I talk to my neighbors. I think that's the other thing is the internet certainly has a place in our political discourse, but when we remove the screens from the conversations that we're having with our neighbors, the temperature is much lower, and we're much more likely to agree than we are to disagree.
Yeah, it was nice to hear the words of Republican Governor Spencer Cox of Utah say, put down the phones, get off social media, go hug someone, go exercise, go sleep. That was a message of unity and leadership. The Democrat Party at this point feels rudderless, feels without a message or a leader at the moment. What would your advice be nationally to the party in this moment?
I think that we have to allow candidates to run the race in their area, that when we are stuck to talking points and, maybe things that don't necessarily apply, Democrats in the Beltway are different from Democrats in rural and exurban Iowa. And this race, I think, is proof of that, right? That I was talking about quote unquote progressive issues, and we talk about subsidizing childcare or helping folks afford a home for the first time. Those types of things are considered progressive. And when we talk about policy, the policy works. And when you can run candidates who are of their neighborhood and know their neighbors, that makes a difference. And so I would encourage, the Democrats, of which I am one, right, to do more local investing and focus on those local races.
So how does it complicate things when you have your message in Iowa and then Mamdani, who's running and will definitely win the mayor's race in New York City? Does that complicate things for the party?
I don't think so. I mean, I was running at the same time, and it didn't come up, quite honestly. I think people understand that the message that someone is running with in a city like New York is going to be different. It has to be different to serve different constituencies. And fortunately or unfortunately, that's the nature of a big tent party, right? We have a variety of viewpoints and constituents, but that is not insurmountable, in my opinion.
Senator, we thank you for joining us here on Connecting America as you begin your new job and wish you congratulations.